Theresa Caputo, a medium from Long Island, broke down on stage. "My ex-husband, Larry Caputo, was the most painful thing in my life," she remarked in a shaky voice and with tears in her eyes. The crowd stopped talking. At that moment, Larry materialized on one side of the stage, clearly unprepared and agitated. Larry moved forward carefully after hearing Theresa's remarks. There was a strained tension in the air as soon as their eyes locked. After that, they faced each other and started conversing. Initially spoken in a gentle tone, pride and rage quickly joined the remarks. Both of them eventually calmed down after a protracted debate. Ultimately, Theresa and Larry came to the realization that they needed to put their disagreements behind them and move on. Thus, they made the decision to meet. Everyone in the room clapped their hands in delight and grinned in relief upon seeing this scene. The theater was full. That evening, Long Island medium Theresa Caputo's live performance drew spectators from many states. Warm, eager excitement filled the crowd as the stage lights shimmered in cold blue tones. Everyone was anticipating Theresa's trademark humor, readings, and messages. But despite the cheery expectation and brilliant lights, Theresa's heart felt abnormally melancholy. She entered the stage with her customary assurance, but there was a flash in her eyes, a tempest simmering beneath her radiant smile. Before she held up her hand for silence, the cheers continued for about a minute. She inhaled deeply as the environment calmed down. Then, it took place. Her voice broke. Her shoulders drooped a little. Her eyes began to well up with tears. "I need to say something I've kept inside for a long time tonight," she said, fighting to keep herself together. The crowd leaned forward. "There have been many blessings in my life," she added, "but the most agonizing experience I've ever had was with my ex-husband, Larry Caputo." The crowd let out a gasp. At last, Theresa's tears trickled down her cheeks. It was a deep, painful despair that had been inside her for years that made her voice tremble, not fury. She remarked, "I didn't think losing him would break me the way it did. However, it did." Abruptly, a man emerged into the light from the dark corner of the stage. Larry. It seems that he had not intended to be there. As though he had entered a situation for which he was unprepared, his expression was strained, perplexed, and even panicked. His eyes flickered from Theresa to the quiet throng, and his hands trembled a little. The crowd went silent. Theresa stopped. Larry stepped forward tentatively. "Theresa," he whispered. They looked at each other. The whole room seemed to breathe in at once. There were years of love, heartache, miscommunications, and unspoken regrets contained in that one look. Both of them felt the pressure of recollections from the past. Theresa dabbed at her eyes. Larry took a deep breath. Then, slowly, they came toward one another. "Larry, why now?" "Quietly," she inquired. "Why do you seem in this manner?" He remarked. "I didn't intend to. However, I was unable to relax after hearing what you had to say. I had to speak up." They spoke in a quiet, controlled tone. Emotions, however, rattled like thunder beneath the serene exterior. Theresa remarked, "You hurt me." "And you caused me pain," Larry answered. "Both of us did." Pride walked in. Anger followed. What started off as gentle candor quickly turned into acrid annoyance. "You never paid attention to me. You excluded me. You were the first to leave. Long before that, you shoved me away." The dispute lasted for several minutes, if not more. Nobody in the crowd dared to speak up. It was unprocessed, human, unpleasant. It's like witnessing two individuals expose old wounds in order to properly clean them. The conflict lost its fire at last, after what seemed like an eternity. They became softer. They lowered their shoulders. They had regret in their eyes. Theresa took a step forward. Larry did not retreat. "We were together for so many years," she said. "We shared a family, a life, and memories that no one else will ever comprehend." Larry gave a nod. "And we allow miscommunications to destroy it." There was silence. Not the icy quiet of rage, but the soft quiet of insight. Theresa declared, "I don't want to live in the past anymore." "I don't either," Larry answered. "However, perhaps we can move forward together once more." Theresa paused. Then she gave a little unsure but genuine smile. The audience's hearts were lifted. Larry held out his hand. Theresa gazed at the object. Slowly, she then put her hand in his. The theater was filled with a tidal wave of applause. People cheered, clapped, and some even started crying as they stood up. The tremendous, overwhelming, and healing joy in the room was palpable. Theresa turned to face Larry, hope instead of grief in her eyes. "Let's begin again," she said. Larry gave her a firm squeeze. "We should try." And suddenly, in the presence of hundreds of witnesses, under the brilliant lights, two hearts that had previously shattered one another returned to the starting point. But the sun rose slowly above the rooftops of the neighborhoods on a crisp Long Island fall morning, casting a gentle orange glow across the sky. The smell of dried leaves permeated the crisp air, and everything seemed exceptionally serene. Evan and Lily Thompson, who'd been married for 12 years, lived in a comfortable two-story house on Willow Avenue. Although they were deeply in love, the last several months had been challenging. Margaret, Lily's mother and best friend, was a kind woman who had passed away not long before. Lily had been quietly breaking on the inside despite her upbeat front. She gave everyone a smile, but Evan could tell that her heart was sad and that her days were full with sorrow, desire, and unresolved questions. Evan wondered at night, how can I aid in her recovery? How can I even console her for a moment? He was aware that Lily had a strong belief in synchronicity, signs, and the afterlife. Thus, a notion that was both audacious and passionate started to take shape in his imagination. Evan picked up his phone one evening while Lily was taking a shower, whispering into it as if he were talking about a national secret. He made a call to someone he knew Lily held in high regard. Caputo Theresa, the medium from Long Island. Evan whispered, "Theresa, my wife is going through a really hard time. I want to give her a nice surprise because she recently lost her mother, something reassuring. Would you think about reading to her in private?" Theresa hesitated for a second on the other end of the line. Even though Evan couldn't see her, he could see her listening with her trademark large blonde hair and her fingernails clicking against the table. "Spirit works in mysterious ways, honey," she finally said. "Someone is attempting to attract your attention already if I'm experiencing this tug. I would be delighted to assist." For the first time in weeks, Evan grinned. Evan informed Lily that he had prepared a relaxing afternoon surprise for the following Sunday. Lily didn't ask many questions despite her confusion. She had total faith in him. He took her to a quaint studio filled with candles, scented with lavender and soothing lights. Puzzled, she looked around. "Evan, what's this place?" He opened his mouth to respond, but Lily froze, because Theresa Caputo herself appeared out of the silent hallway, sporting her trademark glittery boots and beaming smile. "Hello, my love," with her sweet Long Island voice. Theresa exclaimed. "I've heard that someone here needs a message from the other side and a little love." Lily put her hands to her mouth. Her eyes instantly filled with tears. "Oh my God, Theresa, you did this, Evan?" Evan stepped next to her and nodded. "All I want to do is give you something that will lighten your heart." Theresa touched Lily's arm tenderly. "Your mom has been talking nonstop since I entered this building, honey." Lily started crying quietly. Evan stayed close to her as they sat around a little table, wanting to share every second of this healing process with her. Theresa took a deep breath and briefly closed her eyes. "Okay," she murmured, extending the word in her signature manner. "I can already sense the lovely mother energy. Even though it seemed abrupt, she tells me that she died away quietly." Lily's gaze expanded. "Yes, she." Her voice broke. "Yes, precisely." Theresa nodded as though she was speaking to an invisible person next to her. "She's showing me red roses." Was she a rose lover? Lily cried. She had a garden of roses. Above all, she cherished them. "Well, honey, she's putting those roses on your lap." According to her, each and every rose that blossoms in the upcoming spring serves as a reminder that she is still with us. She hasn't missed anything at all. Theresa's head cocked. "She's showing me a kitchen as well. Something to do with baking? Is it fresh bread?" Lily chuckled despite her tears. "Every Sunday, we used to prepare bread. Only the two of us." For the first time in months, Evan saw her expression soften. Warmth pervaded the space, like if someone had joined them. Theresa went on. "She's telling you to quit blaming yourself for being absent at the last minute. She claims that even when you weren't present, she could sense your affection for her." Lily sobbed uncontrollably and wrapped her arms about herself. Evan put an arm around her shoulders gently. Theresa abruptly turned to face Evan. Additionally, your mother-in-law is expressing gratitude. She is really appreciative of your devotion for her daughter. She claims that you are her gift." Evan's throat constricted. Theresa then grinned. "She's telling me that you arranged this surprise? That's precisely why I trusted him with my daughter," she says. Theresa provided brief but significant details as the reading went on. Margaret used to sing this lullaby, the birthday joke she told every year, a recollection from Lily's 10th-year-old beach vacation. Each piece struck Lily like a comforting wave. Theresa once lightly caressed Lily's hand and uttered the following: "She wants me to let you know that she understands how you're feeling, honey. She notices your strength, though. She adds that she will finally be able to sleep soundly the day you smile guilt-free again." But Theresa Caputo received a call unlike any other on a cool October evening when the wind carried the subtle smell of distant sirens and burning leaves. Captain Ryan McAllister, a strong, quiet firehouse captain from Long Beach, Long Island, was the voice on the other end. Theresa could feel the sadness in every syllable, even if he seemed cool. I don't really believe in this stuff, Theresa," he added. "However, we've been having experiences, the people at the station. Things are beyond our comprehension, and in light of last month's events, we require assistance." Theresa's characteristic goosebumps suddenly appeared as a cold surge swept across her arms as soon as she hung up. As the thrills ran up her spine, she flicked back her famed blonde hair and whispered, "Spirit's already talkin'. Whoever is there, they're not waiting." Theresa drove to Firehouse 27 the following afternoon. It was a tall brick structure with decades of history carved into every nook and cranny, including rusty engines, faded photos, and old plaques tucked away like awards. She sensed it as soon as she entered. The firefighters tried to hide their delight as they greeted her with awkward nods and half-nervous smiles. Some people thought, some didn't, but lately they had all sensed something. Boots moving off their racks, doors slamming, radios turning on their own, and once a phantom alarm going off at 3 a.m, without a reason. Captain Ryan moved to the front. "We lost one of our own last month," he muttered. "Donnelly, Lieutenant Mark, fire in the house, collapse of the roof." There was silence in the room. Theresa felt a sudden, acute pressure against her chest, as if she had lost her breath. "He's here," she muttered. Theresa didn't inquire about specifics. She didn't. She just let the silence settle by closing her eyes. Then she took a quick breath a moment later. "I sense a man. Mid-40s, large heart, exceedingly large personality." She put a hand to her abdomen. "He claims he still feels accountable for something." The firefighters gazed at her. A couple looked at each other. Jake, a young firefighter, took a deep breath. Jake said, "That's Donnelly. He always thought he was in charge of us all." Theresa softened her voice and nodded. "He's giving me the impression that the roof collapsed sooner than he anticipated. And he's saying, 'Tell them I didn't feel a thing.' He says you should stop thinking about his final moments." Danny, one of the more senior firefighters, hastily rubbed his eyes while feigning an itch. Danny whispered, "That's exactly what we've been torn apart about. We kept asking ourselves, what if we had been able to remove him sooner?" Theresa's moist eyes were fixed on him. "He forbids you from torturing yourself. He keeps showing me you pacing close to the engine while clutching your helmet." Danny, he was already gone. Shocked, Danny covered his mouth. I never disclosed that to anyone." Theresa saw the spirit's energy growing as she made her way more into the firehouse. She remarked, "He keeps saying there's something in the locker room that you all misunderstood." She was taken there by the firefighters, who exchanged bewildered glances. The air within was still, strangely still. Theresa's fingertips lightly touched the cool metal lockers as she slid between them. She abruptly stopped. She pointed to Mark Donnelly's locker and said, "This one. He's mentioning the boots. He intended to attract attention, which is why the boots moved." The men froze. When Captain Ryan entered the room last week, he saw Mark's boots standing outside his locker, upright, as though someone had just stepped out of them. However, nobody has made contact with them. Ryan cleared his throat. "Maybe I was just tired, I thought." Theresa gave a headshake. "No, honey," he's chuckling. "He claims that although you all blamed Jake, he attempted to topple the coffee mug first." Jake defensively lifted both hands. "I assured you all that I didn't do it," Theresa went on. "He claims that he has been attempting to alert you. The third engine, perhaps. The hose line, something." Captain Ryan went pale. The hose coupling on engine 3 has been problematic. We assumed it was simply normal wear and tear. Theresa's voice became urgent. Fix it before the next big call, he says again. He's still keeping you safe. They assembled around the big oak table used by firefighters for meals. Theresa was forced to take Mark's previous seat. She felt a rush of warmth as soon as she sat down. It was steady, reassuring, and akin to a pat on the back. He cherished this table, she muttered. He's playing pranks and jokes on me, and you guys laughed until you started crying at 2 a.m. Through their sorrow, the men chuckled quietly. Oh, Captain Ryan replied. Once, before Danny's coffee break, Mark substituted salt for all the sugar. Was that him? Danny shouted. I said I was going to quit. Theresa chuckled. You were always dramatic, he says. Danny's mouth fell open. He used to say that to me, literally. Theresa's expression then became grave. He's letting me see the evening before he died. He repeatedly claims that he was unable to warn you at the time, yet he was aware that the fire would be disastrous. He trusted his instincts. Quiet. The kind that burdens your spirit. Theresa muttered, he wants you to know he doesn't regret going in. It's who I was, he explains. Who I will be forever. Theresa sensed the spirit pulling away as the session came to a conclusion. But before he did, she experienced a final wave of feeling that was strong, overwhelming, and filled with wordless love. She remarked, he's showing me a wall of tribute, images, helmets, badges. Captain Ryan gave a nod. Next month we're constructing a memorial for him. Theresa remarked, he knows. Don't make it sad, he urges. Turn up the volume. Make it me. A number of firefighters chuckled while crying. Jake remarked, that's him. I always wanted the room to erupt in laughter. As the energy dwindled, Theresa stood and brushed her hair back while taking a big breath. He's now taking a step back. He won't be quitting the firehouse, though. He wants you to know that he will never leave your side. I'm going to be where my brothers are. His last salute seemed to be carried by the gentle whistling of the wind outside. But pale golden streaks appeared in a living room that appeared to be stuck in time as the late afternoon sun seeped through the lace curtains of a comfortable 2-story house in Oyster Bay. Every picture frame, shelf, and little detail had a memory attached to it, some happy, some sad, but they were all connected to Daniel Marino. Emily had been in love with Daniel for 15 years. He was the type of man who made her laugh even when she didn't want to, poured her coffee the way she preferred, and hummed Sinatra songs while doing the laundry. Emily's world didn't just shatter when he died unexpectedly in a car accident 2 years ago. It fell silent. She read an email from the Long Island Medium program while sitting by herself on her couch today, her hands shaking a little. Theresa Caputo had chosen her for a private reading. Months earlier, her closest friend Mia had submitted an application on her behalf. The text said, "We want to arrange for Theresa to read to you. Please let me know if you are available to film." Emily let out a trembling breath. She muttered, "Maybe Theresa can help me breathe again." A week later, Emily showed up at a rustic community hall in Hempstead, where Theresa was filming multiple readings for the Behind the Reads special episode. The aroma of freshly made coffee permeated the building, which had a cozy, welcoming warmth. Theresa Caputo entered with her trademark haircut, radiant grin, and enough upbeat vibes to light up any gloomy space. Theresa gave Emily a loving embrace and murmured, "Hello, sweetheart," as though they had known one another for years. "You have a lot of energy. Even before you entered, Spirit was with you." Emily's eyes began to well up with tears. "I've been thinking about a lot." Theresa nodded knowingly. "Let's take a seat. Spirit is already demonstrating things to me." The camera crew kept a polite distance and stood silently around them. Theresa put her hand to her chest before she had even taken a seat. "Oh yeah, well, he's really powerful. This energy is masculine and fiercely protective. Someone who died unexpectedly without warning. Do you get it?" Emily's breathing became labored. "Indeed." "Daniel, my partner." Theresa gave her a warm glance. "You have too many reminders of him around the house," he says. "He's displaying a jacket to me. Hanging on a chair, perhaps? Or a hook? Something you haven't moved." Emily immediately nodded. "His blue navy jacket. By the front door it hangs. I was unable to touch it." Theresa went on in a quiet voice. "He's not angry. He wants you to know that he gets it. However, he claims that you have transformed your house into a shrine, my love. Additionally, he wants you to live a life filled with love rather than sorrow. Emily's cheeks were streaming with tears. Theresa said, he loved you more than he ever expressed on earth. He feels bad about not telling you enough. Emily sobbed and covered her mouth. He consistently promised to have more time. Theresa listened with her eyes closed. He's showing me his Sunday morning routine, which includes coffee and jazz. Frank Sinatra. Emily chuckled while crying. Every morning he played Fly Me to the Moon. Theresa grinned. He continues to do so. Additionally, he advises you to switch off the radio right away because listening to that song hurts too much. Emily gave a quiet nod. Theresa took Emily's hands in hers. Spirit conveys a crucial message. Tell her I'm still here. I've changed, yet I'm still here. She also doesn't need to forget to keep going. Emily sobbed more. He says he sees you sitting in your car crying, pretending you're fine when you go inside. Theresa added. He declares, stop bearing the burden by yourself. Oh my God, Emily said to herself. That's what I always do. You blame yourself, he adds, as if you could have prevented what transpired. However, what transpired was fate's will, not your fault, dear. She was devastated by that. Tears fell from years of guilt. Theresa then gave a small gasp. He is displaying his ring to me. I take it you store it in a drawer? Emily gave a nod. I couldn't return it to his mother, even though I was supposed to. Keep it, he says. He want for you to possess it. In any case, he claims it was intended for you. Emily sobbed, her shoulders trembling. You still talk to his picture, he claims. He does indeed hear you. Emily's face was hidden. A few minutes later, Theresa raised her head once more. He states, tell her that love is possible again. That will never make me jealous. Someone who helps her breathe is something she deserves. Emily stopped. Honey, he wants you to live, not merely endure. I'm afraid to forget him, Emily said. Theresa gave a soft shake of her head. You'll remember him. Spirit says, I am a part of her. Despite her best efforts, she was unable to forget me. It felt lighter and warmer, like though Daniel was standing behind her. Then, quietly, Theresa added, he's backing off, but he's left you with this. I am grateful that you loved me when I was unable to love myself. Emily stopped crying. Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to my channel. My name is Mina, and I hope you are having a wonderful day. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video.